Washington State, we're the poster child for environmental excellence.
We're the first generation to feel the sting of climate change.
In 2019, Governor Jay Inslee ran for president on the platform.
Defeat climate change. Climate change is real. Defeating climate change. The demon of the climate crisis.
But here at home, the King 5 investigators have found Washington isn't meeting many of the state's identified environmental goals. State records show over the last decade, we're recycling less, not more. Greenhouse gas emissions from transportation, the state's biggest carbon polluter, are up, not down. And so are overall carbon emissions, despite a state law requiring a reduction.
A lot of areas were failing badly.
Todd Myers is the environmental director at the Washington Policy Center, a conservative think tank.
Critical that state government and politicians live up to their promises and meet those goals so that the people of the state of Washington get what they voted for, get what they're paying for. That's critical.
The state is meeting some environmental goals, including the number of registered electric vehicles like this one. The governor set a goal of 50,000 by 2020. We've smashed that with about 150,000 on Washington roads right now. On this one, the state is not leading by example. 2 years ago at a UN climate summit in Scotland, the governor announced a bold step, an executive order mandating 100% of the state-owned fleet of vehicles be electric by 2035. His office sent out this press release touting the move to help slash carbon emissions. But a new state report shows Washington agencies are way off track and unlikely to meet that goal.
It's challenging to do it, but it's very important that we follow through on our commitments because the climate doesn't care what we say, it cares what we do. This is a delivery van. This probably gets maybe 14 miles to the gallon.
Matthew Metz is the founder of Cultura, a nonprofit dedicated to eliminating gasoline use in the U.S.
And they're asking the private sector to make a lot of change for the climate, which needs to be done, but the state also really needs to do it.
My name is Mandeep Connell, and I'm a director of Results Washington.
When Inslee came into office 10 years ago, he created a state agency, Results Washington, to set, measure, and publicize state goals such as environmental targets.
And the intent was results-driven government.
State government expert John Bernard was the governor's advisor in setting up Results Washington.
The purpose of it was to get focused on measurable improvement. Measure and see if things are working, set targets.
To actually prove if the state's doing better.
Right.
Prove it.
Right. We're spending a lot of money. Does that money get what we're trying to get done?
But over the years, Results Washington has watered down the results. They've scrubbed most of the environmental goals and measurements from their website. Instead, it now features pages of state reports, links to federal information, graphs, maps, and spreadsheets.
I think it's a lost opportunity. If you are wanting to be results driven and you don't keep score, it's literally impossible to know if you're doing well, making progress. It's literally like playing basketball without keeping score.
The director of Results Washington sent us a statement saying they changed course to make data collection more effortless and timely, and they're evaluating their process to make it easier to access all the information at first glance. Can you tell by looking at this if the state is meeting its goals?
No.
On a Capitol Hill sidewalk, we tested the site out with citizens. This is Results Washington. How are we doing in meeting our goal?
I mean, it doesn't really say anything about goals.
You see, I'm just not, like there's so many numbers.
No one we spoke with understood how the state stands on environmental goals. From looking at this website, can you tell what the goal is for our greenhouse gas emissions?
No, not at all.
A lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers. No information about where we're going with it.
We wanted to ask Governor Inslee about the missed targets and Results Washington. His office turned us down twice. Hey, Governor Inslee, it's Susanna Frame from King. How are you? So we caught up with the governor at a public event in October. Sir, I've been trying to organize an interview with you to talk about just a quick one, about our state's climate policies and our targets. And as you know, most of them haven't been met. And so I'm just curious. But I've tried and I've been told no.
Can we get an interview with her? She wants to talk about the climate policy.
Okay.
Can we arrange that? Yeah, let's do that. So we sit down and have
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be great, Governor.
Great,
Thank you.
Despite that commitment for an interview, It didn't happen. Inslee's office said he was too busy and that King 5 was off the mark by not focusing on the governor's climate policy wins. Critics say policy is one thing, results and being transparent about them are another.
Government exists to help make our world a better place. If I don't keep score, how do I know if I made a difference? And we need them to make a difference. We need the accountability, not just for the people who work in the state, but who govern and who make the laws. They need to be accountable.